After celebrating 100 subscribers on this channel, I found myself thinking about something really funny. If you knew me growing up, you would never have guessed that I would be making YouTube videos today. And I don't mean that in a dramatic way, I genuinely mean it.
Navigating our youth.
Growing up, even in secondary school, I was kind of person who could sing every lyric of a song without knowing what the artist looked like. I don't know if you'd remember those lyric books they used to sell back then. It literally contained pages and pages of lyrics of different songs from different artists like Rihanna, Drake, and just every other artist, like think even Nigerian artists. And I would say to my friends, we'll enjoy this, we'll sing along to these lyrics, would write out the lyrics, just basically enjoy their music. Yet I still had no idea what these artists look like. In fact, in my 300 level, I think sometime around 2019 or 2020, a conversation about celebrities came up among my friends, and I just casually mentioned that I had no idea what Cardi B looked like. Everyone turned to look at me like they thought I was joking, but I wasn't. Even my best friend would ask me if I was living under the rock because I was the worst person you could talk to about celebrity gists, gossip, internet trending topics. I was not your go to girl. Even right now, my friends would reference some internet trending songs or just one internet joke, and they'll look at me because they know that I probably wouldn't get it. Like, I really wasn't the content girl. Even right now, I would go to high end restaurants, and the first thing that would come to my mind would not be to take pictures. I might forget to even take pictures of the food or even the aesthetics. I wasn't all about that. I mean, even my social media accounts like my Instagram and stuff, they are proof of that because I was never about content strategy. I was never about, growing my internet fan base or any of that. In fact, I think I got my first Android phone after secondary school. So the foundation for content wasn't really there. And yet, here I am, building a YouTube channel, creating community, connecting with people online, and surprisingly enjoying every bit of it. But then I realized something. The story isn't about content creation. It's about embracing the version of yourself. Because for a long time, I had written a script for my life. I thought I knew how it would go. I would build a career, I would be successful at it, great at what I do. And when I've finally achieved something or I had something to show for it, I would maybe share my thoughts with people. I remember having a conversation years ago where someone asked me what success meant to me. My answer was very specific. I wanted to be successful in my field. I wanted to mentor people in my field. I wanted to inspire people in my field. And looking back, I realized I had painted a very narrow picture of what my life was allowed to look like. I had decided who I was, I had decided the path, the timing, and what success should look like. The problem was that life started introducing people, opportunities, and ideas that didn't fit the script. And for a long time, I resisted them because I thought I had to become someone before I started. I thought I had to have achieved a lot. I had to have had great achievements, results, experience. But then one day, a thought hit me. What if becoming that person required me to start now? What if the version of me that wanted to inspire people couldn't exist without the version of me that was willing to speak up? What if the version of me that wanted to build community couldn't exist without first creating one? What if all the things I wanted to be was hidden behind something that felt unfamiliar? Because I mean, being practical, even if I was so successful in my career, I had made everything, I had all of the achievements, to be able to communicate, to be able to share my thoughts, I would still have to learn to communicate. I would still have to go through the process of building a community. So, what if this is not a distraction from the dream, but a part of it? And honestly, I think this is where a lot of us get stuck. Not because we don't have potential, not because we don't have opportunities, but because the opportunities show up in forms that we're not familiar with. We want growth, we want purpose, we want bigger things. But when growth arrives looking very unfamiliar, we tend to reject it because it doesn't match the picture we had in our minds. Most times it feels like we want the destination, but we don't want the journey. We don't want the version of ourselves that will get us there. And maybe that's because change feels uncomfortable. Because embracing a new version of yourself means admitting that the old version isn't the story anymore. But why do we find this very hard? Our tastes change all the time. Things we liked as children, we probably no longer like again. And the kind of things we never imagined liking has probably become one of our favorite things. Same thing happens with purpose, with identity, with dreams. A few years ago, I modeled. Yes, I used to do supermodel things. And that was a version of me. Now I make YouTube videos, and that's a version of me too. And that's okay because the goal wasn't to stay the same forever, it was to keep growing. I think one of the biggest reasons why many of us feel stuck in life is because we are trying so hard to stay loyal to an old version of ourselves. The version that thought that life would be a certain way, the version that had success defined, the version that had only one path in mind. But life keeps introducing us to different version of ourselves. And each season asks the same question. Would you make room for this version of yourself too? Would you allow yourself evolve? Would you allow yourself change your mind? Would you allow yourself become something you never expected? Because every version is shaping the next one. The truth is, how you interact with this version of yourself you are today would determine what the next version of yourself will be. And maybe the version of yourself you are trying so hard to become isn't ahead of you. It's already here. It's probably hidden in those interests you're afraid to explore, those spaces that feel unfamiliar, those things that do not fit your script. Because the person you are today is not the final draft. And that's a beautiful thing. So if life is calling you into a space that feels unfamiliar, maybe don't fight it so quickly. Maybe this version of yourself has something to teach you. Maybe this version of yourself deserves a chance. And maybe embracing this version would lead you to the next one.
Navigating our youth.